Hello and welcome to the CDO Magazine interview series. I am Nagendra Sherman, Director of Customer Success at Vabico Data Solutions. And we are partnering with CDO Magazine, MIT CDO IQ, and the International Society of Chief Data Officers in a series of interviews. Today, I have the pleasure of talking with Marla Dans, Head of Data Governance at Tradeweb. As a matter of fact, she was named in the Global Data Power Women list for 2020 by CDO Magazine and MIT CDO IQ. Welcome, Marla.
Thank you, Nagendra. I appreciate the recognition from CDO Magazine, and I'm honored to be part of this list of distinguished data leaders in our industry.
Great, Marla. So, Marla, just to kickstart this whole session, tell us about your career and what brought you to your current role.
Well, Nagendra, my career has always been in large financial services firms like Morgan Stanley and JP Morgan in technology, managing server infrastructure, application development teams. This inevitably included management of data in like Oracle databases, SQL, Sybase, other proprietary databases. My expertise at the time was in HR systems like PeopleSoft or risk systems such as third-party risk management. And really the management of data back then was really physical in nature, right? It revolved around, ETL transformations, moving data from container to container, space management, that type of thing. Things like business rules, roles and responsibilities, all that data was buried in business requirements documents or architecture diagrams and not really managed. So, as data became more complex, the growth was exponential, there became a need to better understand data and metadata and how the data moves through the organization. And it really became prevalent, during the 2008 financial crisis, causing regulatory reactions like Dodd-Frank and BCBS 239, which required now by law, organizations to better manage their data. So that, became the rise of the chief data officer and their associations, their organizations associated with those functions of managing data. And the mission there was really formalizing data management best practices and processes, right, and getting a handle on your data. So that's when I became interested and pivoted my career to focus on the business side of data management in partnership with technology. So I joined Tradeweb in 2018, and Tradeweb is a fintech company. It's been around for 20 years, so it was fintech before it was called fintech. It was the first electronic trading platform for fixed income products like U.S. Treasuries, Euro government bonds, and we also provide market data products from all that trading data. So the opportunity at Tradeweb was to develop a brand new data governance program from the ground up, which I found really exciting. And this was in anticipation of their IPO, which was for the following year. So relative to my previous experiences at bigger firms, Tradeweb was kind of smaller. It was just under 1,000 employees, but it really provided a very nimble and dynamic work environment, which I find and still find today really exciting. Everyone's a hands-on contributor all the way up the chain, but it gives a lot of autonomy, right, to develop that vision, identify your business priorities, implement tools and execute a strategy, in a very short period of time. So I went from vision to fully operational in under a year, which to me is lightning speed, because in these other firms, it can take, months just to sign a contract. So getting all that done was really a big accomplishment. It's been an exciting journey, right, with many accomplishments. We initially focused on regulatory requirements and then quickly pivoted to monetization priorities.